No, there's only one signature. I can't tell you.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, on roll call, Mr. Bartlett.
Here.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Here.
Gelbaugh.
Here.
We're going to excuse Dr. Lewis. She had to go home because she was feeling a little dizzy. Mrs. Rankin,
Here. Oh, my.
are you feeling okay? Mr. York.
Here.
All right. Let's have a motion in a second to excuse Marcy.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Well, Chris makes his report.
Mr. Bartlett.
We're excusing Marcy.
Here. Mrs. Brown Knight.
No, we already did. No, we already did.
Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Ms. Rankin. Mr. York.
Aye.
Okay.
I don't know. Did you call, Susan?
It's okay.
You were gonna say.
It gives me grief and he skips her.
Do you need it to read it?
I think it's just the same.
Yes, it is.
All right, has everybody seen the minutes? Any questions regarding the minutes from the last meeting? No?
Look good.
Look good? All right, a motion and a second to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Abstain? Is that
Oh,
okay?
that's right, you weren't here. Mrs. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
I should abstain too. I should
Yes.
abstain. I was not here.
Change for the record.
Changed mine to abstain. I was not here.
Watched it on TV,
Then we
didn't
won't
you?
have-
First thing when I got back home, yeah.
We won't have enough.
Oh, yeah, we won't have enough
Pass the
to,
minutes.
to accept.
Oh,
Does it get deferred to the next council?
Yeah, we'll just,
Is that the right thing to
I
do?
guess.
yeah.
We'll have
We
to
don't have
accept them.
enough, right?
Good.
No.
Just leave it on.
Yeah, I'll leave it on. All right, we'll be accepting those later. All right, in communications from John from the Service Department. Do you have anything to add?
That's my highlight was good.
Not this time? All right, has everybody looked over the report? Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, John, for the Bell Tower Park and all that effort, and thank you for getting the signs up. So, we do have the sign for the tennis courts that is being produced. So, I don't know if those brackets, posts need to be replaced. They look good. They look sturdy, but there's a lot of bolts in them, so I don't know if those two need to be replaced. So it'll be about the same size.
And we have a spending request, is that?
We do have a spending request, yeah. John has an additional $1,000 spending request. I guess, John, you want to explain it briefly?
It's on that ATV vehicle that we have for the volunteers. It's gone up in price, so it's now $1599.99. So that's why I asked for the extra $1,000.
Okay.
We'll write a check since our credit card doesn't have that amount to be able to purchase it. So I try to see if they could still give us the 5% off. So because if you use a credit card, they give you 5%.
Okay.
They won't do that.
They won't do it?
I talked to 3 people down there. I thought I could get them to do it, but
So how are we
So,
paying for it then? You're
just by a
taking-
check.
Chip by check?
yeah,
Okay.
so.
Anybody have any questions as to why he needs this? The extra money's for? Oh, good. All right, a motion and a second then.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right. Are you going to get that soon then?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not something that has to be ordered. You have it in and so on and so forth.
They have like 4 of them on lot right now.
Oh,
And I've already got the water cart ready to, we'll just have to hook it up and
Okay.
stuff, so it's all ready to go.
we're all ready to go.
This spring.
Yeah, okay. All right,
It'll work out well.
okay. All right, everybody looked at the tax report?
Mayor, on John's stuff, did we hear back from the electrician for the,
Yeah, I did.
okay, all right, good.
Yeah, that's something we got
All
to
right.
do, yeah.
Good, good, good.
All right, Chuck, any comments, anything to? All right. And of course, we have a new hire in the tax office, a new assistant. Would you say her name for us?
Yeah, name's Patty Lenhart. She had tax preparation experience on the other side. Now she's coming over here to the dark side. But no, she's doing really well. She's doing really well. She'll pick them up quick, so
Yeah, great.
glad to have her.
So she'll be able to relieve your workload in that capacity so that you're taking on more responsibility as the administrator.
Yes, be able to freeze
in that
me up.
capacity. Yeah.
Frees me up. Now, I don't know about the whole month of April, but,
Well, yeah.
but yes, it helps a lot.
Okay.
I'm able to get out and get some things done, so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, great. All right, thank you. All right, Mr. York has a couple of spending requests here, it looks like. Randy, you want to give a real brief?
Well, I don't know if you guys should have taught me how to do this, but, so the one is for the fire hydrants. We did allocate money from the capital funds to do this. This is to paint them only. John and his guys will use the Smug Hug, I believe, or whatever it's called, or the fire department. They did, the ones on Worcester, they
Right,
did that.
right, yeah.
And they really look great. I do know that you and I, we had talked about some of the paint on the square failing. I've noticed it on this far corner next to the dentist office. Is it failing other places or just
Yeah, the
on
one
that?
right out in front of Graders is also,
So those two,
yes.
which I think are different materials, are where it's failing.
Well, aren't all the ones in the square proper the gray?
Yeah,
They're all gray,
They're all
but
the same
I
paint.
think that those two light posts are a little different than some of the other ones. I think the metal is a little different. Because when you looked at the other ones in the streetlights, they're holding up
good.
fine.
Yeah, yeah.
So when, either tonight when I walk back, or tomorrow, I will assess those, and then I'll get a hold of, if it's okay with you, I'll get a hold of Static All Pro and say, guys, you gotta explain this.
Have you been working with them? I mean, I know you work with them for the square and stuff, but what's been your extent of working with them?
Just the streetlights, just the historic streetlights that have been adopted.
Okay, so just the ones that are adopted, okay. And you sent me, Richard sent me your spreadsheet, so.
Yep.
Have you seen the street light lamp? I'll send that to you, and then we should probably sit down and talk about what's not adopted and getting them painted. So, I know that the spending request obviously has no vendor in it as the one for the streetlights. We removed the vendor as well. I guess we'll feel comfortable choosing Static All Pro once we know they're gonna fix those.
Well, I
Posts
want to know
or-
why they failed and what happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many other ones we've really come up with. I mean, I think there was one or two, but,
I used the wonderful Google effect today. I printed about 5 here in the greater Cincinnati area. There are 5 other electrostatic painters. It's interesting, though, you said the one thing. I wonder if electrostatic paint, or John might know, what about powder coating? Do you think that would hold up outside? I know it's a little bit different process than electrostatic, but if it's a certain
I
material,
think power coat has to be baked on.
they have before with electrostatic, so it's just something weird with those. Okay. Maybe they didn't get all the way scraped, or you mean it could have been a spot where there's old paint and over top, so it's flaking off maybe. But no, there are other companies available, but I don't know what do we want to do.
right.
Do we want to go with someone else, or we want to give it Static All Pro the first shot to fix?
Oh,
and
we should
do,
give them
or-
the opportunity to
I
come and
agree.
look at the work. I mean, to see if, they can explain as to why
I haven't
it's-
contacted him. I just
Yeah.
pulled so we have
Right.
a list
Right.
of
Right.
Yeah.
where to go if need
I-
be.
Yeah,
I
we
mean, I'm
vetted
not
them out.
Yeah.
I'm
We
not so much
chose them.
interested, sorry, in an explanations, I am just getting fixed.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I'd like to know why, but
I'd
it's
like to
more
know
important
why.
that they know why and then how to correct it.
Yeah, correct it going forward for any, if they were to paint any new ones
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Well, Randy may have a point, though, and I know what you're saying. Some of the newer lamp, like the one out, in front of Graders or something, I don't know whether that's a combination of aluminum and steel or something, and it makes the paint adhere differently than it would on, the antique lamps that were painted. Those are all cast metal, and, I mean, that's a
Yeah.
different surface. I just think, though, the point would be to get these guys back, have them take a look.
Oh,
try
I
and
agree.
explain it, and then a decision will be made as to,
Right,
you know.
because they were paid to paint it,
Yeah, exactly.
and paint it they shall do.
All right, well, we do have the spending request, and is everybody good with the additional here, given what we just talked about?
Yeah, but it's gonna run through Public Works, as we're gonna come back with who actually we propose to do the work?
Yeah.
For this and for the lamppost, right?
For the lamp post, this is, the hydrants is not in Public Works. So then that leads to my next question. Do we want to put it in Public Works? Or who, once, say we decide, okay, static all pros, great, let's do it. This is all the hydrants in the village.
The rest of them, yeah.
Okay, so
Do we know what that number is?
once we launch that, then what?
I got it from Dan. Yeah, he's got them all.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay, so once we're like, okay, full speed ahead, who monitors that? I mean, I don't know who takes
I
the
think it's
lead.
got to be Dan. He's the only one that knows where they all
Dan,
are.
okay.
Yeah,
Dan who?
Copeland.
Copeland?
Copeland.
Ah,
I think
perfect.
that's great, that's awesome. Now, all we need to do is tell Dan.
So to your point, though, since we've got the lamppost in there, to me, it makes sense to put the fire
Oh,
hydrants
sure,
in, too.
absolutely. This was part of that whole deal we wanted to put into the Centennial, because it was kind of part of that for other purposes, so that's fine, that's perfectly fine with me.
Should we move to do that then, I guess, put it in there, the hydrants along in there?
Okay.
And I'll talk to Dan.
Okay,
Thought he might be here, but
okay. So we're putting it in.
So do you want to reach out to Static All Pro, or do you want me to?
Well, John, don't you have a relationship with these guys, do you not? I mean, do you have a contact, a person you talk to there? Same one, Randy. But I mean, I guess I'm asking, you talk more frequently with him than Randy has?
Yeah, sure.
Oh.
I guess
Look, I don't care who makes the call. I'm
yeah,
just-
let's
I'm
just
trying
ask
to-
the- right.
yeah.
We'll get it when they come back in, we'll do that.
Okay. Do you prefer that, or would you?
Oh, hey, as long as it's done, I'm happy.
Okay, well, that's what I thought.
Send me.
And as long as we're clear on who's doing it.
Yeah, well, that's what
As long as it gets
I'm
done.
trying to work out
Yeah,
here.
yeah, it's a clarity thing then.
Right.
I think we should just let Kelly.
John's all over it.
We'll take care of it.
All right.
Who's the we? Who's we?
Don't sickly on him.
All right, we need a motion and a second then on these spending requests. All
So moved.
Second.
right, Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Mr. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Mr. Rankin.
Aye.
And Mr. York.
Aye.
All right. We'll do some painting. All right, permission to address council.
So Mayor, was that
sorry.
both of the spending requests? that were
That's
just-
both.
Okay,
Yeah,
I voted for
both.
both.
Everybody voted?
thank
That's what
you.
we were
I
talking
lied,
about
Ed.
here. Okay. Permission to address council.
Hi, good evening. I'm Mike Kintner. I live at 6504 Miami Bluff. And I'm not going to take up much of your time, but I want to talk to you tonight a little bit about the South 80. One of the advantages of being retired and old and having large dogs is you spend an enormous amount of time down there. I think it came out at over 200 days out of the past year. So, to me, there are kind of two issues right now. One is the traffic issue, and two is understanding that the South 80 is a tremendous resource for this community. I don't know how much time all the council members, obviously Mrs. Rankin, I see down there quite frequently, but I'm not sure how many others are down there a lot. Let's talk about traffic briefly. This is a speech I gave about two years ago, I think, 3 years ago, but there's some new council members, so they could suffer through it. Essentially, the problem is that there's too much of it. Algonquin Road is more of a path than a road. We get lots of people going up and down that road. Now, we worked a couple years ago on the signage, okay? And it's better, but when I talk to people, and I do talk to people, and those people who don't tell me to go take a hike or whatever, they're confused. They don't realize they're not supposed to park down there unless they're gardening and unless they are handicapped. I believe those are the rules. Is that correct?
Well, handicap for sure, and I believe you say gardening. I think, you know, they're allowed to load, offload equipment and things, but I don't believe there's really any parking, you know, designated for someone who wishes to stay down there and garden.
Well, I think that's kind of a question mark, because I believe there are these stickers that have been given to people who are in the community gardens
That own
or
the plot.
working the community gardens, and they're even confused. I mean, does that mean that they can go up and down into the South 80 all year long, or during the growing season, or for non-gardening purposes? I think there's considerable confusion, and I think the community gardens are great. I mean, I'm not anti-community gardens, but there are a lot of them, and I recognize they're a revenue source for the town, so I think that's good. But I think there is confusion there also. I talked to Mr. Spooner, I guess at the Mariemont Gardens, and, you know, kind of we had this discussion about all the things that might help the problem of the traffic. One was police being down there on occasion and going around and giving some kind of citation or warning message to cars that clearly weren't gardening and clearly weren't handicapped. We talked a little bit about new signage. I mean, Mark Glassmeyer, when I did this a couple of years ago, came up with the best one: put a chain across the bleeding road, put a stop sign in the middle of the road, and anybody who really wanted to drive down there would have to get out of their car and move it all. But I understand there are probably police issues and fire issues and God knows how many other issues. But I think the signage, you know, it states very clearly to all of us who live here, I think, you know, that if you're going down the South 80, you park at the pool lot, right?
Yes.
Well, that's not getting across, because when I ask people, they say, oh, we didn't realize it. And, you know, and they may be fooling me, but I think actually most of them didn't get it.
Do you think the offenders are residents, or are they just other people who wish to, you know, avail themselves of our trails?
Well, I was going to bring that up as part of this. I have found, just from my informal being a pain in the butt down there, is that we are attracting more people to the South 80
Yes.
from out of town.
Yeah.
It has become known as a great trail, almost, you know, landscape park type setting. There are trails and there's a river, it's beautiful, and for some people they can go across the bridge and over the other side and all sorts of fun stuff. So yes, I think that is part of the problem. The other thing we talked about is maybe just coming up with flyers and maybe having
An
some-
FYI type.
some people just stick them under, you know, the windshield wiper, saying, you know, you're not supposed to be parking here, and, you know,
Yeah.
you may be at some time cited by the Mariemont Police Department, or some- you know, something. I don't mean to be, you know, nasty, but I don't think it's working under the present situation, and it is dangerous. That road is very narrow, and if you are walking down that, and, you know, we've gotten bigger and bigger cars going these days. They're trucks and they're SUVs and what have you, and you cannot stay on that road. You have to either go in the ditch, or sometimes I get really kind of uppity about it, and I walk down the middle of the road and make the car slowly wait behind me, which
I
is
have
perhaps another
never, ever,
technique.
ever done that. Never.
So anyway, I'm hoping that the council will perhaps give this some thought and maybe come up with some ideas on how we could cut down the traffic. Simple as that.
Well, thanks for bringing it in here and
Yeah.
making us somewhat more, because, we are moving into the planting season, the growing season. I mean, in warmer weather, people will be out. I don't know how to improve the signage somewhat. Maybe all that's really required is a little bit more police presence down there. I hate to have to, I'm with you, I don't want to be draconian about something.
Yeah.
But when I was down there, I'm sorry, on Saturday, when I saw Mike, Rennie was down there driving.
Oh, Rennie was
Yes,
down?
yes, he was, so that,
I was gonna say, we do
Yeah.
patrol that, obviously. Can't be down
I mean,
there all
he,
the time.
It's got to be kind of hit and miss,
I had
yeah.
to-
And we do deal with some people that park down there from time to time that shouldn't be down there.
It is growing fairly quickly. The South 80 Committee, would it be standard protocol to say, because it's not just traffic, right? I mean, there are signs for leashes, nobody adheres to that. Construction, there's illegal construction and wood, if there's a flood, all of that goes into the river. But it's also owned in many, signage, broad signage is an issue. So it seems like the South 80 Committee could be tasked with looking now and into the next 5 years with these challenges, right? Do we, take the liability and just say we're not gonna have a leash law down there, because that's a lot of liability, but no, we're not enforcing it. The construction, the things that have been constructed down there, there's illegal things down there that have been constructed. So it's a big question. It's not just traffic, and it's gonna get worse. And it's not just police presence. It seems like the community should decide, the South 80 Committee should really tackle it and come up with a report and some recommendations would be.
Something they could definitely start to look at.
Yeah.
Steve Spooner is the chair of that,
Hmm?
correct? Do we know offhand the other members?
Jason's on it.
Yeah.
They had a meeting last week. I've not seen their report yet. They talked about getting another pump or
Yeah.
doing some other things, and Mike, I don't know if you had your conversation with Steve before all this, but it's something we could do. I will tell you, I have a garden down there and I have a sticker, and to me, that sticker means I can go down there anytime I
Right.
want. So,
Right.
so he's got quite a list of all the gardeners down there, so maybe sending out a note to them telling them what the rules are and how it works. I will tell you, he's got a waiting list, I think, of 3 years to try to get plots down there, and he's even cutting in another row, so it's only gonna get busier down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which my recommendation is the committee tackles, when we give them some, some parameters to tackle some of these challenges that we're gonna see, if not now, in a couple years.
Going
Yeah.
forward, yeah. 'Cause
So
it's
Bill,
not-
you'll go ahead and give it to that, because I think that's a great idea. Let's
Yeah,
give it
no,
to that
it's a great
committee.
idea.
They're closest to it, they'll.
Yeah.
How do you get on that committee? Can they have a council representative?
So
I'd
why
love
not?
to
Well,
talk to
well,
them.
I
Yeah.
I remember down there a lot.
being a member of council would not be an impediment to being on the committee. You're a resident. There are a lot of openings.
Go talk to Steve.
Yeah.
I will put you,
I
I will
don't
put
see,
you
you
on
could
right
put
here
on,
and now.
you're on the committee.
Executive order.
Well, if I'm on it,
Executive
then
order,
Mike's
Kelly's
it.
on the committee. But I would like to maybe give some I think traffic is a huge one, signage is a huge one, right? When and where, the wayfinding, construction, what are the parameters for construction down there? Dogs, what are the parameters, if any, for leashes? Those are some of the things people just need to chew on and tackle.
Did you write that down? Have you got it
Yeah.
written down? Yeah. Give that to me after the meeting. I see Steve Spooner every Tuesday morning. I'll see him in the morning. I will have a chat with him and pass that list along, and then I'll make a recommendation as to his committee taking this up as something that they, need to start discussing.
Do you want me to prepare legislation to add, Kelly?
Yeah,
To add, Kelly?
I had my fingers crossed.
yeah. And then can we also, not to be, but like a timeline for them to come forward with recommendations, like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
fall or
Well,
something?
It's a growing season, yeah. That's
They,
Well,
they
no,
may,
I don't
they
think
may
that-
have something ready now,
Okay.
because I know that Steve said he had a report based upon their meeting. He
That-
had it on Valentine's Day.
And they do, I
could
know
go to
they
that.
do have written rules, that if you have a plot down there and stuff like that. Now, how strictly all that's enforced and so on and so forth, I guess, is debatable. But,
I'm gonna throw something into the mix now, so I would like to clarify when we say the South 80 Committee, is it just for the garden plots?
It's the trails, it's
It
the
is
whole.
the trails,
Yep.
the
okay,
whole
because,
thing, yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, yeah.
Could we maybe have a little better publicity of when the South 80 Committee is actually meeting?
Well, we can definitely get it on the website, and we could. I
Oh, it's
guess we
on the
could put that on
website.
the-
Okay.
Yeah,
on
they
the-
need to let us know when
And
they
they,
meet.
yeah,
Yeah.
maybe they need to communicate better with us to let us know when they're gonna be doing it. But yeah, we could, on our end, we could definitely improve the effort, you know, to get the word out that they are gonna be holding a meeting.
Okay, because I think I would like to go.
Okay.
I didn't know what it was. The other thing is.
Or are you volunteering to be on?
Yeah, they
What's
have
that?
room.
Oh,
They could be
I
on
mean,
that.
I'll be on it. That's fine. I mean, I'll follow Kelly's leadership. How's that?
Okay.
You have
Okay,
made
the other one
you've made
is-
better decisions in your life,
Is
Mike.
really more strategic and planning oriented, and that,
Okay, well, Mike, could I ask
Yeah.
you to, a little brevity, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposed to be 3 minutes.
Per topic.
I was brief. What? Okay.
Quickly.
The other is the South 80 as a resource, as an incredible resource for this town. Now, I know you are all very much involved in the Centennial and the Parks Project, and I haven't seen anything about anything going on in the South 80 in terms of the Centennial Project. What I have seen, unfortunately, I think, is that it's rapidly becoming kind of a dumping place for stuff from the town, whether it be leaves, whether it be tar and asphalt. And the other day, there was a guy down there who said he was working for the town who was dumping stuff from a stump clearing project. All right, I guess. I have no idea. But anyway, I think it at least warrants discussion, and maybe this is part of the 3-year, 5-year plan, about what we really want to do with that. I mean, some of the banks are eroding, as you know, and some of those trails are going to go into the water. They do a very nice job of cutting down, you know, the trees that fall over and what have you. But I'm not sure that there's really a, you know, a maintenance plan, for example, as part of the strategic plan. And really kind of a recognition that we got a really great thing here, and we should protect it.
No, absolutely.
All right, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mike.
It's almost like passing notes.
Check yes or no.
Thank you, thank you. All right. Motion to pay the bills. Everybody looked over the bill list? Any questions?
So the Kleinger's, it says it's the final report, so they're wrapping up, is that,
They're working on it.
okay,
Got comments to them today.
okay.
I think in 2 weeks is gonna go.
I did talk with Matt Ayer today, who just talked with David, so, yeah, we're really hoping by next council to have it.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
Yeah.
that's good.
yeah. All right.
And I understand we got the ODNR grant too.
I don't know anything about it. All right, I need a motion and a second to accept, to pay the bills, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Ms. Rankin.
Aye.
Mr. York.
Aye.
All right, we'll pay those bills. Okay, I think what we have is we have Kelly's committee report that we were not able to sign the last time, and this has to do with the building department fees. So I'm assuming we have it signed now?
Yes. Rob and I have signed it.
Signed it? All right.
So
Well,
this,
did we read it the last time? Are we
no,
gonna-
no, we didn't.
You're gonna
We
read it?
just backburnered the whole thing. So,
Okay.
ready to go.
Be my guest.
Okay. The Public Works and Service Committee met on February 22nd at 3 PM to discuss the building department fees. In attendance were Committee Chairperson Kelly Rankin, Committee Member Rob Bartlett, Mayor Brown, Zoning Administrator Rod Holloway, and Fiscal Officer Richard Ford. Village Tax Administrator Chuck Barlow joined by phone. COVID. The revenue the building department receives from fees currently does not cover the costs of operating the department. Zoning Administrator Holloway provided detailed analysis of the cost versus the revenue for the building department. This document is attached. Based on the information provided by Mr. Holloway, the committee discussed the current rates and suggestions presented to enable the department to get closer to break-even status. The committee recommends these revised rates are implemented once the necessary legislation passes. Attachment. You all have seen it.
It's not in this, though.
It was in the last
Okay.
one, so I can get copies if you don't have it from the last one.
You don't have that? Well, I was in the meeting, so I have them from that.
All right, so anyway, then apparently we've heard the report. Is there any discussion regarding this? I think we all know what this is.
So this is just the resolution, Ed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be coming. Yeah.
Is there any significant changes that are worth noting in the building department, the permit fees?
No, not really. I mean, they're just basically, do you have the?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're looking at
So
it.
Rod did all this research, and Rod
Yeah.
put this all together, and I think he did very thorough job on it. I mean, there's nothing really super overwhelming in it. It's just basically covering them enough to cover our costs. Like right now, I know we're paying XPEX just enough to cover their fee to us, which doesn't include covering any of the overhead that we have from them doing reports or visits or anything like that, and then obviously Rod's involvement in that. So he took that into account. I think the only thing that really is black and white on this is the fact that he recommends that we charge $25 for tree removal, which currently we have at no charge, but he recommends a $25 fee for
We
retreat.
used to charge
Which we
$25.
We
to
used to,
charge.
but we haven't recently.
For
Right.
trees over 12 inches in diameter measured 5 feet above the ground.
Okey doke.
Yeah, I mean, not just any little
So
tree.
wait, 5 feet above the ground, so measure across the top of my head?
It might be about right. Yes. Yes.
I'll volunteer.
The way I looked at it, there was going to be ever so slightly, a little bit of an increase in revenue from the increase, but it's more or less to basically keep up with the rising costs.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a profit center by any
No, no, no.
means.
All right, any other questions? All right. Well, we need a motion and a second to accept.
I move we accept the report.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right. All right, and miscellaneous, again, the nominations for Outstanding Citizen are due to Mrs. Van Pelt by March the 16th. Is that right? March the 16th?
Thursday.
Thursday. Better hurry it up and get them in. All right, now Arbor Day will be held Friday, April the 28th, and that will be at noon, and that will be at the intersection of Wooster Pike and Oak Street.
I think that changed to 1:30.
What time?
1:30.
Oh, I think you are right. Yeah. It did change to 1:30. Yes. All right. Well, we'll
Do
have
we
one.
need to broadcast that in some manner?
Well, we will. We'll have it out.
Okay. Yeah, with that time.
All right. We do have a lot of resolutions to get through here, so I ask everybody to sort of, bear with me here a little bit. We'll try to get through these. These are all third readings. You ready to go? Yes?
Resolution creating a new fund for opioid settlements.
All right, that's the third reading. I need a motion and a second to accept.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gel,
Aye.
excuse me, Ms. Gelbaugh? Mrs.
Aye.
Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
Sorry, getting a little hoarse.
Okay, this is the third reading. Resolution to update swimming pool fees and to include non-resident Mariemont School District membership fees.
All right, a motion and a second to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Ms. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right.
Okay. Third reading, to confirm the reappointment of Christopher M. Ertl as village engineer for calendar years 2023 and 2024, and to set compensation.
All right, a motion and a second, please.
Can I move this one? Can I move with emphasis?
Move with emphasis.
I'll second it with emphasis. How's that?
I think we will all agree
Yeah, I would too.
that Mr. Ertl does an outstanding job.
Excellent job.
Fantastic job. I say kudos to you. In
Yes,
fact, I
thank
can't
you,
compliment
Chris.
high enough. Is that what you were trying to get at?
I was
Yes.
trying to get at.
Do we have a motion and a second in there
So
someplace?
moved.
Yes, second.
All right,
We
Mr.
did. I
Bartlett.
moved with
Aye.
emphasis.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Mr. Rankin.
Aye.
Mr. York.
Aye.
All right.
This is the third reading to confirm the reappointment of Alyssa Wendler as part-time IT administrator for calendar years 2022 and 2023 and to set compensation.
All right, motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Mr. Rankin.
Aye.
Mr. York.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, this is the third reading, a resolution authorizing the village administrator to enter into an agreement for retail electric service provider through the Center for the Local Government Electricity Consortium.
Okay, we all know what that is. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Dr. Lewis, or Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
Mr. York.
Aye.
Mr. York. Sorry.
Okay,
7.
this is the third reading to authorize adoption of a premium-only insurance plan.
All right, a motion and a second to accept, to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett.
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight.
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh.
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin.
Aye.
Mr. York.
Aye.
All right.
Okay, this is the third reading to accept bid of J.K. Muir Corporation for 2023 resurfacing of 4 tennis courts to authorize contract.
All right, a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Mr. Bartlett?
Wait,
Wait, you got a second.
Oh, did we get a second?
yeah, she did.
Okay.
Aye.
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 Gee, I don't have to say the names
I was
anymore?
gonna say, is that,
Mr. York?
Aye.
She hasn't done it yet.
did we,
Did you? We had that
Garden
one
plots?
too.
Oh, did I skip one?
did we do the garden plots? Did you have one?
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay, resolution to update 2023 season rates for garden plots.
Oh, wait a minute, wait,
Is that third or second? I don't remember.
Says third.
Is
That's
that
third. I think.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, hold on here. Is that, it's not on the agenda?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Where is it?
It's the third down from the top, Bill. Go down 3.
Right before appointing Chris.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
missed it.
Yeah. Okay, well, everybody's good, right?
Yeah.
All right, so
We're
do we have a
good.
motion in a second?
It's already been done.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh? Mr. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right,
Thank you, Bob.
somebody caught that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Save Bob.
All right, moving on to the ordinances.
Okay, this is the third reading to delete sections 150.01B5 and 151.075 H2K1 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances.
All right, a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, this is the third reading to delete section 151.075 H2I of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances.
All right, a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Mr. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
Okay, this is the third reading to repeal ordinance number 0722 pertaining to maximum pay rates for all grades of recreation employees and to enact new legislation pertaining to maximum pay rates for all grades of recreation employees.
Well, that's a mouthful. A motion and a second to accept.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, this is the third reading to amend ordinance 02922 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances to increase payment for employees.
Motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Mr., oh, somebody got the second. Mr.
Rob
Bartlett?
did.
Aye.
Rob did.
Okay. Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, is this, This is
Yes,
this
does
is the
everybody
redo?
understand? Yes, we passed this last meeting, but it said chapter 79.
It's just what we call a
So
scrivener's error.
we're just doing it again so that it reflects that it's actually chapter 78.
Oh.
Okay? All right. So the first reading to amend chapter 78 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances relative to traffic schedules and to declare emergency.
All right, we've had the first reading. I need a motion and a second to suspend the rules and allow for the second and third reading.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Ms. Rankin? Mr.
Aye.
York?
Aye.
All right, may we have the second reading, please?
To amend chapter 78 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances relative to traffic schedules and to declare emergency.
All right, this second reading, is there any discussion? I think we all know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
All right, may we have the third reading, please?
To amend chapter 78 of the Mariemont Code of Ordinances relative to traffic schedules and to declare emergency.
All right, I need a motion and a second to adopt.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Ms. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Ms. Gelbaugh?
Aye.
And Mrs. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right, I need, excuse me, I need a motion and a second to evoke the emergency clause.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Bartlett?
Aye.
Mrs. Brown Knight?
Aye.
Gelbaugh?
Aye.
Mr. Rankin?
Aye.
Mr. York?
Aye.
All right. Okay. Well, how are we doing on time?
Well, you just jinxed us, so
Thanks, Bill.
we were doing.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, he hasn't missed a field goal in.
Randy, you have two things I think that don't need to be in health and rec anymore, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true. If you look at, if we don't look at that. And then, I actually have one more thing that we need to talk about tonight, if that's okay.
No.
Okay, what are you
Well, no, I mean,
deleting?
are we
So
taking
we can
something out?
delete, tennis fees and tennis bid, those can go.
Okay. All right.
And then Leah's really been handling the benches, and I know we got the two ordered. So as soon as those get in, the two new ones, we'll take a picture, let people go look at them, and we'll take it from there.
So are we leaving them on for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we talked about addressing the four on the square, you and I.
Yeah.
And John, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna engage in we're gonna try and engage in a cleaning program first before we make any determinations. Hopefully, we can, revitalize some of those and spiff them up. All right, are we moving anything else around here? Are we good?
Good.
All right, does anyone have anything that they would like to report on the task list?
Not me. Not I.
Well, we have cleanup, we have cleanup, I'm just wondering for Leah's standpoint. We
What?
have cleanup benches here, but then we also have village-wide benches. It seems like it's,
It's the same, I'm
Same
doing
thing.
I was gonna say, it seems redundant, so it should be in one place and not the other, right? I would just take it off of the task list, 'cause since you're on the committee with him for the,
That's
Yeah,
fine,
let's just take
If you
it
want
off.
to take it off. I mean, it's
'Cause
pretty
it's
much
already captured.
done, yeah,
yeah.
so.
Okay.
Wooden poles on Murray Avenue.
Oh, yes, good,
Actually-
yes.
Actually,
goodness.
it's not big news, but at least it's not a flat line. It's a little
Any
bit of a
news.
bip. But I did speak with a representative from Alta Fiber today, as well as Duke. Alta Fiber is the guy we need to be talking to. But Alta Fiber and Spectrum have not heard from Duke they have a software called Spans for the order that, hey, it's time to move your wires over. So I spoke with Duke. Of course, the guy with Duke, yeah, I knew that back in July, and I've talked to some people. I said, yes, I know you have. But he is supposed to get me the name and contact number of the guy that took it up, because he said, according to him, he had him teed up and ready to go. And I'm like, well, no one drove the ball, because Spectrum and Alta Fiber haven't heard, so. Then apparently also from the Alta Fiber guy, whoever is the last one to move their wires allegedly takes down the poles. So hopefully when it's done, it'll be done in one swoop.
Oh.
So we'll find out. At least there's a little bit of movement and actually talk to a couple human beings, so.
Sounds
Wow,
encouraging.
Awesome. I think we give Chuck a round of applause.
All right, we're adjourned.
Wait a minute, I have something.
I banged it.
We got this, well, we can talk about it off record if you want. the community project fund from, remember when Greg Lansman was here, he
Right.
said he can stand behind
Yeah,
15
I did see
projects?
that come through.
We just need to decide what those are going to be.
due this
because
week,
it's due
right?
Friday.
Yeah, it's due
Yeah.
Friday.
Oh, is this for the earmark
Yeah.
process for
Yeah.
Yep.
federal
Yep,
money?
yep,
They're due Friday?
Yes.
Ooh.
Did you get the
Well,
email? It was.
Yes, but I didn't realize it was due Friday.
Yeah.
Like this Friday.
Yes.
Couple days.
So here's what I'd like, and well, I texted Greg today, and he responded back, and he sent me the name of his chief of staff is Chris Dalton. So I have a call with him tomorrow at 9:30. Here's what, because when we was here, we gave him the Centennial list, and we gave him our infrastructure wish list. So I sent those again today. So if it's okay, I'll talk to Chris about, here's what we need, here's what we can get funded, and kind of figure out, but at some point, we need to, I don't know how we do this, because it's due on Friday, to get together somehow. I don't know if we need a public meeting to do it, but certainly to engage as many voices as possible.
Possible, yeah. Well, I mean, if we're having
Actually, you do.
we do need a public meeting if we're having as many voices as possible, but we should think about it, and then we'll set something later in the week.
Okay, so I'll have I'll have that call tomorrow morning. I'll send an email out to everybody with the findings, and then we'll set up something towards the end of the week. When I will tell you, when I looked at the app, it's not rigorous at all. It's something,
okay.
I started it, I got 80% done with it.
Oh, great.
So it's
Okay.
something that we make some decisions and we can get it done
Yeah.
rather quickly.
Yeah.
The other thing, the SORTA grant is due by May, it opened up March 1st.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about what we do with this.
Agreed.
Because it does roads, bridges, pedestrian and bicycle facilities, all within 3/4 of a mile of a SORTA route, which is all of Mariemont. So
Yeah.
if it's okay, maybe we talk about this and this at that meeting and get all these two knocked down.
Well, yeah. 'cause
Does it make sense to get the opinion of Kleinagers? Given that they're doing some broader planning for the village?
We could. I have a call to them because they're working on a
We haven't
dogwood
agreed
park
to the
project
project.
anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too premature, it just seems like it could all align, but
Maybe,
maybe it's premature.
Yeah, it's not a bad thought.
Yeah, I'm more interested with someone that has some experience doing this. You know, what do they look for? Go ahead.
There's a call for those projects tomorrow, which I'll be attending, to learn how to do it. I've
The
done it for-
SORTA?
Yeah, the SORTA TIG applications. I've done it for the past 2 years for the city of Cincinnati, so I will be doing it for Mariemont this year. You guys let me know.
Yeah.
Oh,
My
wonderful.
first thought is Pocahontas, the little, just from Worcester Pike up to Hiawatha, but we can apply for as many as you want. and-
See what happens.
Sounds good.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Are there certain criteria that improves our probability of getting the money?
Yes, everything's got a point scale to it, so we can talk about that,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for the sort of.
I do not.
So we're gonna reconnect later this week then?
Yeah.
To,
Should we,
The sort of
you-
grant is May 1.
May 31st.
May
It's open
31st.
now. It ends May
We got
30.
time for that one, okay.
This
This one's Friday.
one's due,
Yeah, we
Friday.
it's
just,
due Friday. And I think they just got it. If you look at it, what they sent us, they have to send it in by March 23rd. So they want it
Yeah.
from us. And remember when when Greg was here, he says, I'm gonna stand behind 15 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
can I ask very quickly, I'm gonna add to the complication, but this is just a point of clarity. Have we had any conversations with either of our senators about this? Because eventually it also goes to Senate appropriate.
I've reached out, but I've not heard back.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it's totally fine. It's like, it's great. I think it's, yeah.
so should we look at calendars now? I mean,
I would,
instead of waiting and trying to do this,
yeah, I mean, because Wednesday's out,
Wednesday's out.
Wednesday evening is out, so
The mayor's court.
Oh, because of the basketball tournament? That's Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mayor's
Randy.
Court, yeah, Mayor's Court's Wednesday.
Not Friday.
We kind of have to do
It
it
kind of just
Thursday.
leaves Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday's
I'll be
really
at
the only
half.
day.
Make it.
All day.
What's that?
I'll be at Haps all day.
Oh, 'cause
On Friday?
on the 16th?
7
Oh,
a.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say not on,
7 a.m.
on the 17th.
on Friday, not
Okay.
Thursday.
I'm I'm
Can I,
probably
does this
out on
require a
16th.
full vote of council for the projects, or is that, or?
I don't
You need
think,
a, you need a quorum.
You do?
So just
Oh, yeah.
To
4 people.
submit, just to submit, you have to
I
vote
would-
on it.
I would,
Well, let's clarify what what we're meeting about this.
We're meeting what to submit.
What-
Right, okay.
And that can't be, just, again, is there anything in the criteria that requires us to take a vote on it? I'm looking at you, Ed, I don't know, but,
Yeah, frankly, I haven't seen what you're talking about, so I'm not really sure what it is. Is it a request for grants?
it's
Government
for
grant?
earmarks, it's
for
it's called, their community project funding initiatives.
Yes, earmarks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you
But
gotta have a
county.
meeting and have a quorum of your council
Okay.
to agree to that,
all right.
I mean, we're gonna be asking, I mean, what we wish to request.
majority.
Okay, so that
Yeah,
leads me to my
correct.
next question.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so do we
What are we
have
asking?
a
Right.
list, so to speak, to choose from, or?
Well, there's agencies there's different agencies that are open, some of them are not open, and under those agencies are projects that they will fund. So, it looks like stormwater might be able to get funded. It looks like, economic development might be able to get, I mean, they love blighted properties and things like that. What I don't know is, I know when Greg Lansman was here, when we showed him the Centennial stuff, he says, get this to me.
Get it
I'm
in.
gonna have
Yeah, get it
15
in.
things I can
Right.
ask for. So, if there's something there, or what makes most sense? What makes most sense first, and what do we think can get funded, and where do those two meet? I think that's the dialogue we have to have. And I don't know their side of the equation of what, is more favorable to possibly get funded.
Can you talk to Landsman's office and
Yeah,
find
well,
out?
I've got that,
That's
call.
what
That's
they're
what that
doing
call
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
That's what they're doing tomorrow.
So I may, tomorrow after, I may say, this is all we got. Stormwater is the only thing that can, or the bridge down to the South 80 or whatever.
on Thursday?
So tomorrow, your call with Chris Dalton
Correct.
is to kind of clarify,
Just guidance.
What-
I ask
right.
him for guidance.
right, okay.
Once he knows that, though, can he share that with the rest of us?
It's just
Not that he
information.
It's just
necessarily should.
information, sure.
Yeah, it's information sharing. We're not
Yeah.
making deliberation.
Nation, you can do that, yeah. As long as you're not talking to each other about making a decision, just to share the information.
No, I
you can
know.
do
If
that.
it- yeah,
Sorry,
Ed,
sorry
There's
about
no
that.
deliberation. It's just info
You
sharing.
can,
It's
once you
okay.
get the information,
yeah,
you
yeah,
can
that's
share
fine.
it
Info
around
sharing
with
is
us.
fine.
Okay.
But do not solicit opinion or recommend.
It's just informational. I just,
For your information.
for your information. Yeah, exactly.
So do we know if we would have a quorum on
Yeah, right,
Thursday?
right.
Yeah,
Thursday?
I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
make Thursday, but I can make Friday, but that's a little late, so.
Yeah, like,
Can't make Thursday.
what Chuck says, is
You can't make
Bob.
Thursday.
Thanks,
Randy
Bob.
sends you an email, here's what we can do. Don't respond to Randy like, that's a great idea or that's a bad
Yeah.
idea.
Actually, I could do
Just-
Thursday morning.
Just consider it, and then we all get together. When are you gonna meet on Thursday?
Well, I don't know. We're trying to
We're
get it
trying
worked
to figure
out.
that out.
Well, Kelly, you can move to have the meeting at HAPS if you'd like.
Well, it's 7 AM on Friday.
You're out on Thursday? You're
I'm out
no
from
good?
7:30, yeah, I'm out
Okay.
all day on Thursday.
I am available in the morning on Thursday, but then I'm out the rest of the day.
Oh,
practically.
like how late till in the morning?
Dude, I don't want to get really personal.
Well, other than.
I'm having this procedure done, it's normally at 50 years and 60 years, and they tell me I shouldn't go out afterwards.
I did. I did. Hey, Rob. Hey, Rob, I
I've had
drove
those,
home
Rob,
from
they're
that
not so bad.
procedure.
Oh, I've had one. What's that?
I drove home from that
You're
procedure.
not supposed to.
You're not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to.
No, they won't even let you out of the clinic
Drive
by
all
All right,
yourself.
all right, let's decide. I
I'm
mean,
okay Thursday morning.
Let's,
Uh,
I'm not.
Thursday morning's gonna be difficult with
Yeah,
the
no.
court.
I've done it once before. So again, I have until like 11 o'clock, and then I am going to be occupied.
I can do, I know Wednesday's not ideal, I can do Wednesday.
Well,
What
Wednesday.
about-
Is Wednesday completely out, even if we do it like after mayor's?
I have a feeling it's not gonna take long, because we start mayor's
yeah.
court at 5, so if you wanna do it 4:30?
No,
Well,
it's
no,
got-
4:30
Now we have a
No.
4 o'clock.
What about
Are you usually done
3:30?
by 6?
That's hard to say.
It's hard to say if we have a trial or
6:30.
not. 6:30 we should be done, yeah.
And you're talking,
Or we can do it somewhere else.
6:30 at Wednesday.
Or can we
What
do it
about
somewhere else while
tomorrow?
mayor's court's going on?
Or tomorrow night, yeah.
We don't have enough time to post it.
Yeah.
Oh, duh, yeah.
We could post it 8
So
PM.
Wednesday, if it's in the evening, like, again, 6:30 or else, I mean,
Well, Mayor's
We have a
Court's
5
in
o'clock in the mayor's
Yeah,
office.
we can do it in,
Well,
right,
what-
if you want.
What I can do a lot of times on mayor's court, when they have lawyers, I try to get rid of their cases first, and then we can try to clear it out. We'll be done by 6:30 for sure.
Or could we just hold a meeting
You could, yeah.
like we did those special meetings, just hold it in,
You want to do it
Can't
at
do it
5
before
in the office?
6:30.
what, you can't,
On Wednesday, I can't do it before 6:30.
what about you?
On Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it. I
Can you
mean,
do it at 5?
on Wednesday? Probably, hold on. I can do
Yeah,
it
Chris will
at,
already be here
Wednesday,
too, so
Wednesday,
yeah.
we're doing
Wednesday
Wednesday.
at 5?
At 5?
what about
No, I
Wednesday?
can't do Wednesday.
I know,
Right, if
I
we can
know.
get
I'm
Or
saying
just getting a
there's
quorum.
four.
I
Rob,
can do
you
Wednesday
can.
at 5:45.
Susan,
5:45, I can get here. 5:45.
5:45? Rob, can you do 5:45? Can you do 5:45? Kelly?
yes.
Randy? Okay, so we have 4.
We have a,
And if Marcy can, that would be 5.
Right.
We have a quorum.
Okay.
All right? So will you include me on the email tomorrow? Okay.
okay, 5:45
Okay.
AM.
5:45, yeah. We're all free then, right? 5:45?
Now we're done.
Well, I
Johnny.
think we're already done.
Yeah,
We're
sorry about
done.
that.
Yeah, we banged that thing a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think once you hit the gavel there about 20 minutes ago. the
Thank
guy from
you.
our ICR,
All right,
she cut it off.
I see, he's driving away right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
all
Randy, you
right.
gotta move quick, man, if you wanna beat my
Yeah,
gavel.
you
right.
get that task list in front of you, that gavel goes
Man.
down.
We are done.
Susan, give me a minute and I'll get that for you.
Oh, Joni, thank you.
That's all